Kaylara embarks on a research expedition to the Northern Territory of Australia. She sets up her campsite near a riverbank, preparing for a long night of observation and data collection. As night falls, Kaylara settles into her makeshift lab, reviewing her notes and preparing her equipment for the next day. She dons her worn leather gloves, a habit she's developed over years of working with the reptiles, and heads out into the darkness. The air is heavy with mist, making it difficult for Kaylara to see more than a few feet in front of her. But she walks along the riverbank, she notices a faint ripple in the water, and her trained eyes lock onto a large shape lurking just beneath the surface.
She freezes, her heart racing with excitement, as she watches a massive saltwater crocodile breach the water's surface.
The creature's snout breaks the water's surface, and Kaylara captures the moment on camera, her hands moving swiftly to adjust the exposure.
She spends the next hour observing the crocodile, taking note of its behavior and documenting its movements.
As the sun begins to rise, Kaylara carefully makes her way back to her campsite, her mind racing with thoughts of her research and the insights she's gained.
She pores over her data, searching for patterns and correlations that will help her better understand the crocodile's behavior.
As the day wears on, Kaylara's campsite becomes a flurry of activity, with her research assistants arriving to help with the project. The team sets up a makeshift lab where they begin to analyze the DNA samples they've collected from the crocodiles.
Kaylara spends the afternoon reviewing the data, looking for any clues that might explain the crocodile's aggressive behavior.
As the sun begins to set, Kaylara takes a moment to reflect on her research and the progress they've made so far. She knows that there's still much to learn about these incredible creatures, and she's driven by a sense of wonder and curiosity.
The next morning, Kaylara and her team set out on a mission to track down a particularly aggressive crocodile that's been terrorizing a nearby village. They follow the creature's trail, using a combination of tracking equipment and old-fashioned detective work.
As they approach the crocodile's lair, Kaylara can feel the air grow thick with tension. She signals to her team to stay back and creeps forward, her eyes fixed on the creature.
She holds her ground, her heart pounding in her chest, as she tries to read the creature's body language.
The crocodile begins to circle, its movements slow and deliberate, and Kaylara knows she's in a battle of wills. It's all right. You can rest now. I'm here with you. The crocodile halts its movement, its ears perked up, and Kaylara senses a slight change in its demeanor. She takes a cautious step forward, her eyes locked on the creature, and speaks again in a gentle tone. Himself. And Kaylara feels a surge of excitement.
She reaches out a hand, her heart pounding in her chest, and the crocodile nuzzles her palm.
Kaylara spends the next few hours observing the crocodile, learning its habits and behavior, and marveling at its intelligence.
As the sun begins to set, Kaylara knows it's time to leave, and she carefully backs away from the creature, not wanting to startle it.
The next day, Kaylara and her team return to the village, where they meet with the local authorities to discuss their findings.
Kaylara presents her research, highlighting the importance of understanding the saltwater crocodile's behavior and habitat.
The villagers are impressed by Kaylara's knowledge and expertise, and they thank her for her help in addressing the problem.
Kaylara spends the next few days working with the local community, helping to develop a plan to peacefully coexist with the crocodiles.
She meets with the local leaders, discussing the importance of respecting the crocodile's habitat and preventing future conflicts.
Kaylara's team spends the next few weeks implementing their plan, working with the villagers to create a safe and sustainable environment.
As the weeks turn into months, Kaylara sees the positive impact of their work, with the crocodile population thriving.
She knows that there's still much work to be done, but she's proud of what they've achieved so far. The path behind me holds many lessons. Every experience, every challenge brought me to this moment.
She realizes that her research has not only helped the crocodiles, but also the people who live alongside them.
Kalara's team begins to pack up their equipment, preparing to leave the Northern Territory and head back to their home base.
As they say their goodbyes, Kaylara thanks the villagers for their hospitality and support.
The team sets off on their journey, looking forward to sharing their findings with the scientific community.
Kaylara spends the next few days reviewing her notes and data, preparing her research for publication. She writes a paper on the saltwater crocodile's behavior and habitat, highlighting the importance of understanding and respecting these incredible creatures.
Kaylara submits her paper to a prestigious scientific journal, where it undergoes a rigorous peer review process. She spends the next few months waiting for the journal's decision, her fingers crossed that her research will be accepted.
Finally, the journal releases its latest issue, featuring Kaylara's paper on the cover.
Kaylara's research is met with widespread acclaim, with scientists and experts praising her groundbreaking work. She receives numerous requests for interviews and appearances as she becomes a leading expert in the field of crocodile research. Kaylara uses her newfound platform to advocate for the protection and conservation of the saltwater crocodile and its habitat.
She works with governments and organizations to develop policies and programs that support the conservation of the species.
Kaylara's work has a profound impact on the scientific community, inspiring a new generation of researchers and conservationists. She continues to study the saltwater crocodile, always seeking to learn more about these incredible creatures and their place in the world.
Kaylara's research expands to include other species, as she works to understand the intricate relationships between predators and prey in the wild.
She becomes a leading voice in the field of wildlife conservation, using her expertise to inform policy and inspire action. Kaylara's legacy extends far beyond her own research, as she inspires a new era of scientists, conservationists, and wildlife enthusiasts.
Years later, Kaylara looks back on her journey, proud of the impact she's had on the world and the lessons she's learned along the way.